Just a few weeks ago, we had one of the pre-production 2026 Subaru Outbacks here at our retailer in Louisville, Kentucky at Bachman Subaru. It was only here for a couple hours, one day. So I made a video for you guys showing you all around the car and kind of outlining some of the key differences between the 26 and the 2025 outgoing model. Well, I didn't get a chance to drive the car that day, and I just got back from a trip with Subaru, a really unique opportunity that I'm very fortunate to have had, where we actually got to drive the car and get a feel for it and some real world experience with this new vehicle, not just regular road driving, but also through the mountains. It's a really cool experience. And so in today's video, I want to share with you all what I learned during this and some of the cool things and actually show you some video I got of this new 2026 Outback and my first driving impressions of this car. First off, I want to share a quick thank you to both Subaru for hosting this event and for my local retailer Bachman Subaru for sending me out to be able to have this experience, because I do understand that not everybody gets this experience and only so many Subaru salespeople and sales staff get the opportunity to do this. So I do really appreciate Subaru and my local retailer for allowing me to do this and to show it and share my experience with you guys here on YouTube. The day started off with an opportunity to get up close and personal with the new wilderness trim for this new generation Outback. And this one in particular is in the River Rock Pearl. It's a new color for the Outback this year. It was previously only available in the Forester, but now is going to be available in the 26 Outback, not just in the wilderness trim, but also in the lower trim levels as well. It's a great color and something that I've been hoping Subaru would add for many years now, and they finally have answered that request, so I'm happy to see that. Subaru also has this new deep emerald green pearl color that I think is especially going to look great for those who opt for the brown interior on the touring trim level. The Wilderness gets upgraded suspension for 2026 with standard electronic dampening. So this is going to help smooth out the imperfections on the road, especially if you hit a pothole or something like that anybody can encounter, especially if you're driving in snowy or raining environments. So even if you're not intending to take the car off road, this can be beneficial for those in those road conditions. They did change out the tires this year. They used to have the Yokohama Geolander tires on the Wilderness trim. Now this year they have the Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. And this change was specifically done by Subaru to have better performance with that electronic dampening system. So apparently the engineers had identified that the Bridgestones perform better than the Yokohama, specifically for the new 2026 Outback Wilderness with the electronic dampening and the suspension. And for those who want a more luxury Wilderness trim, they now have what I like to call the touring package for the Wilderness. That's unofficial, that's not what Subaru calls it, but you can get an optional package for the Wilderness now that adds things like your air-conditioned ventilated seats. You get Napa leather instead of the synthetic leather, the StarTex that Subaru has. And you have not only just power adjustable driver seat, but you have power adjustable passenger seat. And for those who have long legs and want that additional support on the driver's seat, you now have that front driver seat extension on this upgraded optional package. So something really nice to see, and I've had plenty of customers request more of the touring amenities on the Wilderness in the past, and they haven't yet had it available until now, so it's nice to see that being added. The Wilderness also gets this fun little startup screen, so whenever you start the car, you'll see mountains both on the digital gauge cluster and the center touchscreen display. So for the test drive portion of this event, we actually didn't get to drive the Wilderness, but we got to drive the standard Outbacks, the Limiteds, the Tourings, the Premium. And Subaru did this, I think, intentionally because they wanted us to experience what it would be like off-roading in your standard Outback. And obviously, if you go with the Wilderness, you're just going to have that much more capability with the off-road driving. So we started out with the standard Outback. We were driving through the mountains, and this Outback we were in did have the front view monitor, so the camera that would allow us to see around the vehicle and out ahead, which I think is almost necessary if you are going to be off-roading, because sometimes whenever you're climbing a hill, you can't actually see out ahead. You can only see your hood or the sky in some cases. These hills were pretty steep, and especially when we were caravanning, so we had a car in front of us and we had a car behind us, and so to be able to see out ahead, having that camera was paramount. I mean, we had to have that to be able to see, and also so we didn't drive off the side of the mountain, because these trails were pretty narrow, as you can see here. But it was really fun. Climbing these mountains was effortless. And then on the descent, there were some pretty steep descents going down these hills, and we had a car right in front of us, so we had to be intentional about not braking and sliding into them, because, I mean, if you applied the brakes too hard, you could slide. And that's where Subaru's X mode really comes in handy, because if you aren't aware, Subaru's X mode not only helps prioritize traction when you're climbing a hill, but also helps with even, consistent braking when you're going down a hill. It's called hill descent control. So this was almost necessary to have when going down the hill. So when your X mode is turned on by default, your hill descent control will also be available. I think it works up to like 12 miles an hour, and obviously we're not getting anywhere near that. We're going like 2 to 6 miles an hour, I believe, going down these hills. And having that provide that consistent braking where we can just focus on steering while we're descending the hill was really nice to have, and really fun to experience. And then at the bottom of the hill, you'll see here, there's an opportunity where you can go over this uneven terrain, and your car is on 3 wheels at times. So it's cool to see that X mode work and see how the all-wheel drive system still works. And you know, you hear people talk about how great Subarus are with their all-wheel drive system, but this really makes it tangible. And I've known for years that Subarus perform well, just having my own Subaru in snowy environments and situations where I needed that all-wheel drive system. But having this really just further compounds and gives me the confidence to share that with you guys and customers when they're looking for a vehicle that is capable. It was actually really hard for me to focus on the trail out ahead. So I was a passenger here and I was just filming, but I wanted to look off to the side and look out ahead to the views because they were absolutely amazing. I had only ever done one other Subaru driving event. It was in Tennessee, and we were kind of in the creek beds and the trails and the off-road environment. So we didn't get a chance to like go to the top of the mountain. And obviously there's a lot of trees in the mountains in Tennessee. Here in California, there's a lot of like bushes and dryness. It's not the same terrain. And so we actually, when we got to the top of the mountain, we were able to see, you know, as far as you could see. And it was just really impressive. This was so surreal, a really cool experience, and something that I wish I got the opportunity to kind of go to the top and just hang out there for a little bit, but we were on a little bit of a time crunch. So it was really kind of in and out, and we were just driving through the trails and switching off with other drivers. So we didn't get a chance to really bask in it, but it was still cool nonetheless. And it was crazy the amount of dirt that accumulated on the car. At one point, we actually had to turn our windshield wipers on to get the dusty dirt off the windshield to provide some better visibility. And as you can see here, the layer of dirt on here, I mean, I feel bad for the people who are gonna have to clean these afterwards. Although that actually sounds like a fun opportunity, it's probably very satisfying for the person that gets to clean it. And when we got out of our Outback that we had just test driven through the mountains, I realized that it was one that is equipped with these new side step rails. This is a new accessory, an optional accessory for the 26 Outbacks. And I've been told it doesn't take away from the ground clearance. And this is just proving that when we drove it through the mountains, we didn't have any issues with it clipping on anything. But for those who want that additional capability, you know, having something that you can easily step onto to load things onto the roof of your Subaru, it's nice that Subaru has this. And I know a lot of people have requested it, and we're finally getting it. And I don't know if it's standard or if this is also an optional accessory, but I noticed the door seals, this decorative Outback design on the door seals was pretty unique, something cool to see. And if it's not standard, it's something that I think a lot of people might like to add to their car. And as far as I know, the front view monitor, unfortunately, isn't going to be standard equipment on all of the Subarus. From what I can tell, it looks to be only on the Limited XT trim, so the Turbo Limited trim, the Touring non-turbo, and the Touring XT turbo trim level, and of course on the Wilderness that we saw before. After driving the Outback through the mountains, Subaru didn't stop there. They also wanted us to experience driving it on the highway through some windy roads and to get it up to highway speed. So this was another really good experience. The Outback for 2026 got an updated power steering system. So they now have a dual pinion power steering system. This is similar to that of the WRX, our rally car, and something that we saw upgraded in both the 24 and newer Crosstreks and the 25 and newer Foresters. So it's good to see that they finally added this to the Outback. The steering responsiveness is incredible. It's something you have to experience for yourself, but going through these windy hills, through the mountains, were great. I mean, the car handled, and it was very direct, and everything just felt great. You really, you have to experience it for yourself to make that tangible, but it is an incredible driving experience with this car. And yeah, it's not a sports car by any means, but it's an SUV, and it's really impressive to feel that handling with this car. You can tell how quiet this new 26 Outback is. For the Subaru models over the last few years, Subaru has had a heavy focus on decreasing unwanted noise. And a lot of the ways they've done this is not just improvements in suspension, but also improvements in insulation. And the 2026 Outback, they have updated the insulation in the front windows, the insulation in the front doors, the door seals, and weather strips, things like that, to help prevent wind noise, road noise, and unwanted vibrations. They've done an excellent job with this, and they've made it even more quieter than the previous generation. In the last part of this event, Subaru had a little bit of a surprise in store for us. They had the 26 Subaru Solterra for us to test drive, which I haven't driven a 26 Solterra yet because they haven't even arrived at retailers. And really overall, since the Solterra has come out, it's a pretty low production vehicle, so I haven't had a lot of seat time with this particular car. And if you're not familiar, this is Subaru's first fully electric vehicle. It's been out for a few years now, and they've made iterations and advancements over the last couple years since its first launch. And this is catered to people who want the EV, but also want the off-road capability. So something that you can take through the mountains if you choose to do so. And this exactly encapsulates that. We were able to drive these Solterras through the trails, just like we did with the Outback. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the off-road capabilities of the Solterra, because you really don't know how it performs until you experience it for yourself. And of course, they've got the ground clearance, they've got the all-wheel drive system. The Solterra also has something cool called grip control that none of the other Subarus have. And my understanding, so when you are going through bumpy terrain, you can activate this to so it'll excel the vehicle forward for you at an even, steady speed. So you don't have to fool with the braking and the acceleration. And it works at speeds of like 2 to 6 miles an hour. Whenever I was driving, I actually had difficulty engaging it, but my driving partner, they actually engaged it immediately, very effortlessly. So it was cool to see, and obviously then I could focus on filming instead of driving. But it works well, and it works as intended, and we got through the trails effortlessly. If you've never driven an EV, these cars have instant torque, instant acceleration, and when you're climbing a hill, that can be incredibly helpful. I mean, there was no lag time. We were at the bottom of the hill, and accelerating to the top was effortless. I mean, of course, this was dry terrain. It wasn't muddy or wet, but whenever we gave it, I want to say gas, but whenever we put our foot on the accelerator, it just zoomed up the side of the mountain, like completely without any hesitation. So really cool to see and experience. Overall, I had an amazing time, and I'm really appreciative for the opportunity to be able to experience this, and then to be able to share that with you all here on YouTube. Hope you found some value in this video. If you are looking for an opportunity to sit in and drive a 26 Outback yourself, they're going to be arriving at Subaru retailers very soon. As an example, we are getting our first one November 20th here in less than 2 weeks at Bachman Subaru in Louisville, Kentucky. If you want an opportunity to test drive it, please contact me using my contact information in the description box below. I would love the opportunity to show you all around this new vehicle, test drive it. If you want to buy one, I would love to help assist with that. And if you don't live local, then reach out to your local Subaru store, because chances are they're also going to be getting theirs very soon. We originally were going to be getting them in December, and now it looks like we're going to be getting them a couple weeks in advance. So reach out to your local retailer, check one out for yourself, see what you think. I think you're going to be really impressed and enjoy this new car. I hope you all have found some value in this. If you did, please remember to click the like button, comment below with any questions you have. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.